All right. Hello, you guys. I am back. Dana Lee here with Angela. Angela, hi.
Hi.
So, I wanted to bring Angela on to talk about her story, her journey to food freedom. And you're still on the journey, right? We're still on the path. There's always more to unpack. So, Angela, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where, the history of dieting, body image, whatever you'd like to share, up until the point where you and I connected and you decided to do the mentorship.
Okay. So I'd probably say I connected to food problems going back to my early teens. So I used to swim competitively, and at that time I was moving up in the rankings, and we had to size down our body weight to make swimming a little bit more smoother in the water, I guess you could say. And our coach used to weigh us once a week, and I believe I was like 14. And that's kind of when I started really looking at my body and thinking, okay, I'm not the right size. I need to lose weight to be faster in the water, to just be a better competitor. And that's when it kind of started trickling. So now at home, my dad was kind of keeping me away from certain foods, kind of being more watchful on what I was eating. So I think that's kind of where my starting point was, which had then trickled into my teens. Wearing the baggy clothes, always kind of, embarrassed about my body, even though I look back at pictures now and I'm like, damn, if I had a body like that today, I'd be
Right?
walking around in a bathing suit all the time,
Right.
right?
I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? Body dysmorphic disorder to the like 10th degree. Ah,
Exactly. Yep. But unfortunately, I didn't recognize it back then. So here I was covering up at, my 16 to 20, always baggy shirts, not really like showing much of myself. Then into my 20s, I started to, incorporate more exercising, because I did end up quitting swimming at 16. But, now I'm into this whole diet thing now all the time, trying to lose weight. My mom did Weight Watchers, so I would see her eating cottage cheese and pineapple because that was the thing, drinking diet tab. This was the thing. And so I'm seeing my mom doing it. I'm trying to incorporate it. In my 20s, I start doing the whole, going to the gym, working out, running, trying to do everything I can to keep the weight from, creeping up. And in my 30s, so when I was 30, I had my son, my first son. And that's when I just like ballooned from pregnancy. Then, of course, now all my attention is devoted to my son. So I didn't become a priority anymore. I'm too busy, looking after my newborn and then eating. So eating disorders kind of started when I was younger. And it would be binging, then feeling bad, the shaming, the disappointment, all the emotions and feelings that go with it. And then I would hide it. I would go to the store and eat everything before I went home. It was just a spiral. And I repeated these patterns over and over again, but trying like, okay, maybe I'm going to do running this week, or maybe I'm going to cut out all the fats, or there was always some other level I was trying to get to, but it was always the physical. It was always about food. It was always about my body and trying to get smaller. And I was never happy when I was in the bigger sizes. I needed to get to that smaller weight, that smaller number on the scale. Um, so when I had my son, I've kind of just everything has kind of gone from family priorities to, putting myself on the back burner. And and now I'm 50. I been really trying to think about, where I am. And I'm kind of, now I've had my second son, my weight's been creeping back up. I've been through a divorce. So after my divorce, I had lost a ton of weight. Looking after myself, I made myself a priority into a new relationship, and then I have another son. So now I'm kind of back in that cycle of, I did it for myself, but now we're back to, we have a small child, so we've got, our priorities are there, not on me anymore. So now I'm at that point where, okay, my son is 6, a little bit more independent. I'm gonna be 50 because I started this program back in February. So I'm like, I gotta do something. Like this has been a cycle for years and decades,
Yep.
and I
20s,
haven't
started in your
broken.
teens, so we have 20s, 30s, and 40s. So that's over 3 decades. Yeah.
Yep. And so I actually came to a realization, like, what am I doing? Like, this is ridiculous. It's like this hamster wheel. Like, I'm just going around in circles. Nothing's getting better. And I'm at the same starting point as I was, years ago. And it's frustrating. And I just really needed to look at my life in the health perspective and say, you know what, like, you're going to be 50, man. You're not 20 anymore. Like, get your shit together. And this is kind of when I know we met, well, online 10 years ago, but with me, kind of I was getting your emails all along, and your emails were written for me the last few months before I started the program. I'm like, oh my God, like everything is just kind of lining up with how I felt or kind of where I want to go, what I need to do. And watching Sindhu's testimonial really helped push me to that point where, okay, like I need to do this, I need to make the change. And that's when I joined the mentorship program, and it's just been all like rainbows and
Yeah.
everything's been going so much clarity, and so everything's so different in just the few short months I've been doing this.
I was going to say, so
So, but
that was,
we met,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
So I was going to say
And I
that
was just going to say, but
February,
my
right?
connection with you
Mhm.
was 10 years ago when I did buy a spinning bike, and I did I was looking for a workout where I could get some direction. And that's how I found you, through your spinning videos. So,
Yep. And now you continue to spin with me, but now we do it through Real Fit, which actually I have bundled into the mentorship. So all my workout videos, they're all in there. So Angela continues to spin and will ride with us live, right? I'll do some pop-up live stream rides. So those are really fun too.
those are fun.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
it is a very short time. It's kind of mind blowing because I feel like there's so much you've shared over the past few months. So we're in May when we're filming this testimonial video, and it is, so that's February, March, April, May, 4 months, maybe even less. And what are some things that have been the most like that have taken you to the next level? Like, I will often say, once you know, you can't unknow. So what are some
Yeah.
of those things that you can share with any woman who's watching this that will give her some hope that there is some light ahead of, maybe there's something I don't know yet. I don't know what I don't know. So you give them a little hope and inspiration of what's possible.
The biggest thing for me, that has just done a 360 for me, is my whole perspective, like around food. I always referred to myself as a food addict, like that, almost like a crackhead. You can't give me a little bit and say no. Like that will just get me started, right? Um, so food for me has been huge because I was that person that, I would eat until I'm stuffed, then I'd feel satisfied. Junk food like sweets or burgers and, just junk food was all I seemed to crave. And I couldn't get on like that healthy eating cycle, although, it's good for you. It's going to make you feel good, but I just couldn't get there. Um, Binging and hiding, going to the McDonald's drive-through on my way home and grabbing a cheeseburger because I just felt like eating something, and not telling my partner. It was like hiding the wrappers before I got home. So yeah,
Hiding
like
evidence. Yeah.
it's huge how much it controlled me, and nothing could stay in the cupboards. Any junk food, like that would not sit there. That would be gone. It would be on my mind until it was gone. From the moment I woke up to the moment I'd go to bed, all my meals, I'm thinking about what am I going to eat? What am I going to snack on? Like it's so exhausting.
Mm.
And I found that the first module, like, or actually the first couple of modules where you're kind of, like your food rules, and it really makes you think like, oh my God, why do I even think this stuff? Like, who told me this and why do I believe it? And you've been setting up like yourself for failure for so long. And then this is kind of eye-opening in the sense that food is there, but you don't have to have it control you. And I've really been looking at it from like a nutritional standpoint and what is going to be good for my body, what's going to make me feel good after I eat it. All that junk food doesn't make me feel good after I eat it, and it's not good for my health. So it's also the self-love thing. I'm starting to love myself again. So that's playing into it as well, right? So there's different aspects from this program that are just coming in and making me realize that food is not it. You've got these underlying things that have happened in my life that have, I've been using food as my symptom, right? Like to cover up my emotions and hope that would resolve my emotions, but it's not. It's just been detrimental. So this has really been like a huge turning point for me.
Ah, just to think about all of that mental real estate that used to take up in your brain about, because I was there too. I've shared my story. Like it was constant from the moment I woke up in the morning. What time am I going to eat breakfast? What am I going to eat for breakfast? And eat like what am I going to eat for lunch? I would literally like go based on the hours in the day, not based on my body, biology, like how do I feel, my mood. We talk a lot in the mentorship about once we get into the food module. Now the food module we didn't even get to till module 6. That's halfway through the
Yeah.
course. So Angela's already sharing with you the first couple modules, there were major food breakthroughs for you. So you don't even need to get to that module. So at this point, are you done with the course or are you still working your way through?
No, I'm still working my way through. I find I need time in between. That's the other thing I love is I don't have an agenda. Like I can let it absorb, think about it. I think about it over the week. I've dedicated one day, like one night a week that I do this work. And it gives me all week to like think about it. And it's great having that time. I don't feel rushed. I can just take my time, do it at my own pace.
I love that you shared that because I want every woman to know that when they work with me, I eliminate this idea that you are behind or you need to catch up, right? How often have you heard me say you're exactly where you need to be, right?
Right. Yes.
And
Yep.
to pace
And
yourself.
I'm believing that for real.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's for real. So I don't care. Listen, as you join the mentorship, I drop the modules one a week because you absolutely could do one a week and be done in 12 weeks. However, you're going to find that there's some modules that you're like, just like an intense workout, right? So if you're going to lift weights and you're like, you need a break after that. You can't lift back to back to back to back. We need rest in between there so the body can recover. Otherwise, you just feel beat down. So I want you to think about this mindset work the same way. We need to give it the attention, the breathing room, and the space. So Angela's sharing, that's exactly what she's done. She's earmarked, this is time for me every single week, just like you would do your workouts, right? Or getting your hair done or getting your nails done or whatever. You're going to earmark that
Yep.
and allow yourself the extra time. If there's some module you're like, oh my God, I'm flying through this is awesome, and then there's another one that you're like, whoo, there's a lot there,
Yes.
right? So you give yourself
Yep.
space, and that's why I asked Angela, like, even though we're 4 months in, like, you still have a couple. What module are you on at this point?
I'm on number 7.
Okay, so
Yeah,
7.
I'm halfway. I think I'm almost done.
Yeah,
What's that? Sorry?
so 7 is the self-worth module. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's the other thing too about this program. Like it's far exceeded my expectations because I've always, like as I mentioned, I've always dealt with like the physical and just, about food. I've never really like sat down and thought about my beliefs or what I want for my future because I've always found that goal setting, which always was centered around weight loss and getting into smaller sizes and trying to fit into those clothes I had in my closet, it's always been about just the physical and how are you going to get to that physical point. I've never gone about it this way. So I think that's what's so refreshing for me is I'm discovering like more about myself and coming to peace with a lot of shit that I've been hanging on to that has really affected like who I am today and what I believe. And I think that it's just it's amazing, this work. I just can't thank you enough for this program, because without it I would just still be sitting there looking up, Jillian Michaels hardcore kick-ass, like
Calorie
it
burning.
would
Yeah, yeah.
not, like I think you need these fundamentals to get to where you want to be. And whether if it is about weight loss or changing your body image or even your career, your relationship, it doesn't have to be about food. It can be about other things. And that's what I'm realizing with this. I came into this to help me with my food and how I see food and how food affects me and my body image affects me. But it's so much more than that. So, I thank you because I'm on that path to figuring things out. So,
Clearly that brings me so much joy, because I will say, and I'm very blunt in my community, it's not really about the food. And in the beginning, you're probably like, yeah, like I want to believe that, but I can't possibly understand it because it's ruling my day every day. How can it not be about the food? And now Angela's here to tell you that it's like, whoa, way beyond that. Like
yeah.
it has a ripple effect, and the food and your behaviors around the food are a symptom. And something we do work on in the program together is forgiving yourself. Now, forgiving is in module 10, so Angela hasn't gotten there yet, but we already like work on a lot of these things even before you get to the module, because Angela will attend the group calls. So you jump on when you can. And can you speak to that for a little bit of like the value of that in the program?
Yes. So, going through the years that I have been with these food challenges and, the binging and eating so much, I always thought like, oh my God, nobody else can be doing this. Like I'm like some freak show, eating everything or eating all this crap. Like who can eat a whole bag of, like, or a big box of chocolates or, like I always thought nobody else could do that, just me. But or having these binging or the hiding it, yeah. And this is the thing, like when you come on here I'm like, oh my God, these people are like me. They've got the same issues that they've been dealing with. And it's just nice to know like you're not alone, right? Like there's people that are dealing with the same thing, so we're all working together to combat our demons and try and figure things out. So it's kind of like we're all on that same path. And so nice to have people that you can relate to. When I try to explain to my husband about like what I would call my eating disorder, he does not understand it. And I don't talk about it to any people because I'm kind of embarrassed to say, yeah, don't bring that box of Timbits around me because that will be gone. And, so it's embarrassing. And I didn't really open up to any people, but I know on here, I can open up and be honest and real and not judged for it. And people are like, hey man, I get you because I was here, or, like people just relate and it makes you feel better.
Yeah, like I'm not such a freak show after all. This is actually part of the bigger process. And something that I really hope all of my mentees get as a gift is that they can understand that the issue with food, really all we're looking to do is love ourselves. We use food as a way to like fill and nourish and fill a void. And really we're all seeking self-love and acceptance, our worthiness. So if you have been struggling with food for so many years, decades in fact, just know that if you're watching this video today and you found me, that there's the reason it is showing up in your life in such a strong pain point is because there's been nothing else in your life that's going to push you back to love yourself. that's the gift. That's the gift your food disordered eating is here to teach you. It's here to show you it's not really about the food. Just like money issues are not really about the money. There's a lot of symptoms of how we interact with other things that are just a reflection of, well, how can I love myself even more than this? How can I love, what would I do if I loved myself, right? What would I do if I truly loved myself? So,
Right. Yeah, I
yay.
remember one of our first conversations that we had, and you were telling me about how food will become a non-issue. And I was like, okay, like I'm open to that, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I couldn't picture having like a cake in my house or having stuff where it would be able to sit there and it wouldn't be on my mind. But I can honestly say that I can have cake on my counter and I don't care. I don't even, it's not, I'm not even using like, oh, willpower to stay away from it. And I'm there, Dana. And I honestly thought, there's no way I have to have, I could not picture it, but I'm honestly like, it does not bother me that it would sit on my kids can bring, their little chocolate ice creams. I'm good. I don't really want it.
Oh,
And that is amazing. Like, that's
so
amazing.
4 decades going on, right? It's like your teenage years, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, going into now just turned 50. And in 4 months, in less than 4 months, you're able to then, after years and years of having to just devour
Yeah.
a cake if it's sitting on your counter, and in 4 months, you can now leave that cake sit there. And I want to
Yeah.
say the secret to that is really that this entire program is you uncovering. It's like, imagine you've got all these layers of clothes on all the way up to like a coat and a hat and a scarf, and what we're doing is we're like, you know what, this doesn't feel like me, this doesn't feel like me, this doesn't feel like me, and you're rediscovering yourself and you're nourishing yourself based on connecting with your spirituality, your like mental well-being, your emotional well-being, really honoring those parts of yourself that have been dormant and shut off. And this program is designed for you to uncover the real you. And if you can show up authentically as you, the food is not of interest. That's
Yeah.
just how it works.
I think the powerful module, well, one of the things you have us do is creating our ideal day
Mm-hmm.
and our success story. And just, like reading your ideal day, like that doesn't incorporate eating, any
Right.
crappy food or junk food. So it's kind of like that kind of helps reinforce, what you want for your day and just taking it day by day. I always found if I was trying to figure, okay, 2 months, I got a wedding. So I'm like, oh my God, I got 2 months, I got to lose weight. I got to do this and that. It was very overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
But learning through here, you're just kind of taken day by day. You're not, I mean, you are looking at the big picture. I mean, you do have, like your success story is what you want for your future, but it doesn't, it's not like there's a timeline, like you kind of work towards it. You take steps towards it. And I find that that's helped so much trying to just visualize and create that ideal day. That's helped a lot too.
Oh, beautiful. So, something to be said about this all or nothing thinking, right? Because we could probably relate to that. It's like on or off,
Yeah.
all or nothing, black or white, right? So it's the extreme. Oh, if this isn't happening, then I'm a failure. So it sounds to me like you're really understanding the nuances and being able to appreciate the process.
Yes, for sure.
Oh,
The taking it day by day. I think I had mentioned to you before, I was like that Monday girl. Monday come and I had all these great intentions. And if one little slip, if I didn't get my workout in on that first Monday, or I ate something that was a bad food, that was it. The day was done. And that rolled into the whole week as a write-off. I'll start again next week. And that has been a pattern that's been just on and on and on for years and years. It's always that Monday, or it's always, oh, the first of the month is coming up,
Right,
or the new
right.
year,
New
you
Year's,
know? Yeah,
exactly.
frustrating, exhausting. So
It
day
is.
by day, you know what? It's a day by day thing. You just got to start fresh every day.
Yep. So this is why I say, like, this is how I eat 24/7, 365. So now, Angela, when I say something like that to you, can you understand why me being at home, or if I'm on vacation or I'm at a party or whatever, can you start to see how that's possible?
Yes. Yeah. So we haven't like we're still in a little bit of a lockdown here. So yes, I have been at home. So things have been controlled, like the way that I'm trying to do with this journey. And but we have had a couple of family gatherings where the charcuterie board is out, the desserts are out. And you know what? Those charcuterie boards, they would have things that before I would have considered not stuff that would be on the good eating list, but I'm just eating it anyways. But I'm eating it in moderation. Like it's just I'm allowing myself to enjoy,
Mhm.
and then it stops. It's cut off, it's almost like a switch in my brain has been turned on to say, hey, look, like you're done,
Yeah.
right? This is it. This is all you need. And you can, because I find the deprivation is what is going to backfire. And when you don't allow yourself things for weeks or months on end, eventually you're going to be, you know what, you can't do it anymore.
Mhm.
So allowing things and doing it in moderation, I think, has been my key, anyways.
Yes, giving ourselves permission to eat what we want when we want. It's like a big experiment, you know? So it's and the other thing that we talk about in the mentorship program is around food is how do I feel emotionally, mentally, and physically? So it's this I want to honor and be part of the social event. I want to feel good, but then at some point you're like physically like but something does shut off where it's I can have a bite of something now. Now, I mean, like I could never imagine if you talked to me 10 years ago, I could never imagine that I would be having this conversation. And I'm sure, Angela, you feel like God, even Christmas, right? You're like, God, it was like New Year's this year, and you're like, I can't even imagine this would have happened this year for me. So
Yeah.
it is possible for you. So if there's any woman who's watching this and they're on the fence of it, what would you say to them about doing this work?
At first, you know what, it can, like, it's a big change, like it is changes, and a lot of the time people are afraid to make the change because they just don't know what to expect or what's on the other side. And I mean, really, for me, I kind of knew that it was time to make that change. So I think deep in your heart, if you know that you have to make the change, and what you've been doing in the past hasn't been working, it's time to try something new. And that's what I did, and it's been working for me, and I am so thankful that I have gone this route, because the stuff that I'm learning is it's invaluable. Like you can't put a price tag on it. Like this is stuff that's it's helping you as a whole, like from your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, and mental. Like it's encompassing the whole person, not just the physical. So it's just something that it's so rewarding. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a jump in the right direction for sure.
And I just want to reinforce that you will be supported all the way through, right? So Angela's never been left to her own devices, right? So there's always like a way for you to share in the Facebook group or on the group call or commenting under the videos in the modules. There's always ways for you to, like, especially when you get little ahas and breakthroughs. And like you said, I could turn and tell my husband, but he doesn't quite understand why this is such a big deal. But our group definitely gets that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're here to catch you.
Yeah. The support, sorry, I should have mentioned that, because that is huge for me too, is just being able to relate to people. And people will tell their stories, and you can oh my gosh, like that, I've been through that, or yeah, I'm going through, like there's so much that I'm sure you'll find that you can relate to someone in the group, right?
Hmm. And it also feels good. I mean, if you hear another woman speak like on our call or share in the group, how good does it feel to be able to support them? You know?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like this is a major
Absolutely.
part of the healing process where it's like, even if you see someone else struggling, you know you've been there. It feels really good to offer a valuable piece of support in the context of really having empathy and understanding. It makes you feel so good.
It does. Absolutely. Even, when you post something in the group and someone's like, oh, yeah, like if, they comment like, oh, yeah, I really needed to hear this today, or, anything like that. Like it's kind of like, you got your freedom to kind of, post your things and get things off your chest. And then you'll see that people just start commenting and supporting what you've said or what you're sharing. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely that is a bonus.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Angela, so much. Our intention here is that if you were watching this video, you're meant to watch this video. Just like when I was sending out my emails, and Angela's like, I swear you're writing this email to me. So there's a reason you're watching this. And do it. Do it. It'll be the best investment you've ever made. I promise you. So we hope to see you in the mentorship. If you have any questions, Angela is in our Life Beyond Dieting group, so I'm sure you could tag her or send her a message. If there's something that she shared that you can relate to and you don't want to talk to me about it, but maybe talk to our fellow mentees here in the mentorship program, that's what we're about. We want to pay it forward and we want to help, and like the rising tides lift all ships. That's what we believe. And if women can be lifted up,
Yes.
more women are lifted up. It is for the good of humanity. Imagine what you can accomplish in your life when food doesn't take up so much real estate in your brain and in your day. It's like, oh my God, I can live the life of my dreams because this isn't weighing me down anymore, right? Literally weighing you down.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Exactly. Right.
so thank you so much, Angela. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
hopefully we will both see you in the mentorship. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.